Welcome back to an episode of the Twisting Podcast, chapter 1152, A Horrible Day. Now, this right here, we start off, of course, with the opening act when we have Yamato and Karamatsu as well as Page 1 and Oti walking around because now Yamato has retainers. And they're just going through, enjoying some of the harvest of the Golden Harvest Fest that's going on. And Kawamatsu is welcoming them to, of course, as Kawamatsu is the daimon of his village. He's welcoming them in and showing them the ropes of everything, as well as the sumos that have been defeated by Yamato. But we jump right into it. And this is the chapter. We're starting off right now with the New Age Pirates, Hiroden's group, all boarding the ship. And they're all getting aboard right now. Where Chopper tells Luffy, hey, I'm not going with you all. I'm going to stay back here right now with Mr. Ya because I want to make sure that he heals up. And Luffy's like, all right, thanks, Chopper, for looking out for him. But Mr. Ya, Skyrocket looks at Luffy and says to him, hey, mental note, use your color of Supreme King Haki. Now, they're not immortal. They can still be beaten. You have to be able to use it, though. Luffy says, all right, I got you. I'm going to make sure that I'm able to do this. I'm going to save Colin and everyone else. And gets up out of there. Now, you've helped us see a lot of things. And Skyrocket telling them all that he wasn't able to verbalize or visualize everything on his own power. But now that he can see this and he needs to do this, it's time that the Holy Knights be stopped. Loki is up and he is saying for sure, uncuff me and take me with you, brother. He's telling Hiroden this. Hiroden is simply not going for it at all. But as they're having a conversation, Skyrocket simply notices something else. He notices somebody else is leaking out and oozing Supreme King Conqueror Haki. And Sanji, of course, jumps up and says, who, me? And he looks back at Mosshead or Zoro, or Zolo, however you want to call him. And he simply looks and says, you gotta be talking about me, right? And Skyrocket says, no, not you. I'm talking about him back there. And it makes it kind of unsettling. And Zoro looks on and he's like, wait, I have that? And Luffy goes, yeah, I can't believe you've never seen that. It's oozing, it's flowing out of you. It's all over you. I can't believe this incredible Haki power is really inside there and it's only consciously controlled. You have to have an extreme focus on something to be controlling this actual power. Now, you can't be out here not knowing that you have the Supreme King's Conqueror's Haki and put with the right hand to the King of the Pirates. Can't be doing that. You have to make sure that if you're going to be out here as an Emperor of the Sea, especially a crewmate of the Emperor of the Sea, you have to know how to use this. And Sanji is pissed because Sanji is not him. It's the swordsman. It's Zoro. He's the one who has the Supreme King's color of Haki, of course, because he has so much determination inside of it. Now we're going to see how he uses it. So this pushes Zoro even farther up that ladder for me, versus him and Sanji being so close. I would say that Zoro definitely has even more of an edge now, knowing that he does have the Supreme King's Conqueror Haki. But this isn't the first time we heard about it. We heard about it back on Roof Piece when Kaido told him about that same exact thing. Like, hey, you have this power going inside you right now. It's kind of dangerous and deadly, especially when he went into the Ashura mode and put a scar on Kaido's scales with his sword technique. But going through all this still, this is pathetic. Hiroden and Loki are going back and forth right now, and they're simply not. Hiroden is not budging at all. He's not trying to uncuff him. He's trying to sit there and say, why would you want to save a land who you helped torture and torment for such a long time? Why do you want to do this anyway? And Luffy's like, hey, why don't you join my crew then, Loki? If you join my crew, can we set him free then, Hiroden? And Hiroden's like, what? And then Loki, everybody is looking on like, hey, whoa, forget about that, Luffy. This is an enormous freak in the first place. How he's going to fit in the ship? He eats more food than you eat. This is what Zoro and Sanji are telling Luffy. But those are just side things. This is still Hiroden. This is still Loki we're talking about. A monster upon men. Now, with that being said, Luffy is looking on right now for the answer from Loki. Loki says, "Shut your mouth, Pig Squeak. Why would I ever become a henchman for you? Why would I ever stoop so low and you insult me inside that way for me to want to work for you as a crewmate?" And Luffy, of course, tells him, "I want to see how you fight. I want to see him in action. I want to see that happen." Now, Rodin, the crew is looking on for you. What's the decision? Let's go. But Rodin is like, "No, not happening at all. This is something that's not going to be done with whatsoever." And Mr. Ya, Scarpa says to them, "Go ahead, unlock the chains." And everybody looks on inside the express like, "Whoa, did he just say what I think he just said? Why is he saying this right now?" And he says simply, having a flashback for them, "Hey, me and Shanks were here the day that King Harold died. And because we were here, we know somewhat of the story, not all of it because we wasn't fully there." And Luffy goes on, "Wait, did you just say Shanks?" But that's all he heard from that. Not the fact that they were actually there and they know somewhat of what happened. And Hiroden says, "I'm sorry. You guys can go up first to his crew." He tells Stanson, "Hey, take them all up." And Luffy says, "Zoro, Sanji, we'll cut it to you soon as well. You go ahead and go up there also." So now we have the wings of the future king of the pirate, as well as the members of the new giant pirate crew going up there to the top, as Hiroden, Loki, and Luffy all stay back because now it's time for getting into the real story mode. And Hiroden simply tells him, "Hey, I need to know the full story, and I need you to tell me this now." "This is a cruel demand, brother," Loki tells Hiroden. "You want me to reveal everything that happened inside that event? I'd rather not remember the details. It was such a horrible day. And 14 years ago is when it happened. Prince Loki returned to the castle. Him and Chief Ja Rule are both inside there walking in. And they're walking into the castle because they were both summoned there by King Harold. Not just them being summoned there, but of course, them being in the same presence even goes to more of the sense of why I think Chief Ja Rule is Shaggy on the side. And he's telling them, like, hey, like, he's keeping in contact with Loki because they know what happened on that actual day. And Loki is just taking on the role of the prisoner, while Chief Ja Rule, of course, took on the role of being Elbaf's new king. So, with that being said, we get into the flashback. As they walk inside there, Loki walks up to the door. They're having a nice conversation, and he kicks the door in. And as he kicks in one of the doors, he kicks in with somebody, with another warrior or a guard in front of the door, saying, "Hey, you can't go inside. They're just welcome back, my prince." And he kicks it in with his foot like a bad boy. Of course, we're going to see that he gets this from his father later on. But what do they see when they kick the door in? They see King Harold being stabbed by all the royal guards inside there. And of course, Loki and King Ja Rule and Chief Ja Rule are looking on like, what the hell is happening here? And the Sun World, at their Scarpa house, him and Shanks are having a nice bath together. They haven't done this in many, many, many years. About 10 years ago, since the captain has passed away anyway. So it took them forever to get back to finally have this conversation. They're sitting down together. They have Ripley, who comes inside there, who scares Shanks. That brings them on pie. That brings them food. That brings them drinks, and goes from there. But then they sense something, an unsettling presence or haki emanating from the castle where where King Harold is, Chief Ja Rule, and of course Prince Loki. And as they feel this presence inside there, they know for a fact that something is off. And they both have to take off now to go see what's going on. And now, King Harold has perished. King Harold is gone. And this is the treasure of the forbidden fruit that they have left. The chains are unlocked. Chief Ja Rule was stabbed inside the head, but it does not cause people. This right here, that is not cause for people to praise him so much because of the fact that he had this devil fruit inside of his era or inside of his possession. Now we go back even further, 109 years before the present time. It's a ship out there up on the seas. that is taking over the world. The giant pirate crew is out there and they're running a muck about things. They're showing people the power of Elbath and just how things happen and how they're really ruling over the seas inside of the regular underworld, inside the regular world. They're going through, looking inside people's houses and castles and looking on, and we see a giant pirate walking around saying, "Oopsies, my foot slipped," and he's destroying towns. He's destroying towns, and this pirate has the horns coming out of him, and he has this nice sword, a cape behind him, and there's none other than, of course, the king of Warland, of Elbath, King Harold. King Harold, back inside of his prime, he took the throne of just 45 years old. That's 15 years old inside of the human years, though. 15 years old. He took the throne and became the youngest person to ever become king. Now, with that being said, he's walking around saying, "Who's your god?" He has this aura about him. The same aura that Loki has about him as well is Loki gets it from King Harold. He's not this softy, hardened guy like Haroldin is. He's just like his father. He's a badass who does whatever he wants, whoever he wants, whenever he wants. And they stopped the chapter right there with them, with of course King Harold saying, "Who's your god now?" As he destroys some parts of the villages. Now, this being said, this is going to get into a lot of different things. And with this flashback, it just helps us just make the connection more to the traits that Loki has followed, that his father has as well inside of him. And Loki just followed those same footsteps or those same traits and put those inside of himself. So, that being said, that's a wrap for 1153. 1152. 1153 is coming up next. I look forward to that as well. We do have a lot more stuff going on with the channel. We're simply finna just start dropping videos left and right. Hopefully we get a Fantastic Four update because my boy 16 did go see it. So never know, we might have to drop that inside there. He might have to pop on one of these days and talk about it a little bit. But hey, they're going crazy right now. And Elbath is these Elbath flashbacks that we're getting, of course, from the king's perspective of Prince Harold, or King Harold, from just what we have going on right now. Really getting there. I'm loving what I'm seeing, and I can't wait to catch y'all in the next episode. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment down below if you really rock with us. And of course, this is 12 signing off.